What good is sitting alone in your room? Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. What good's omitting some prophet of doom to wipe every smile away? Life is a cabaret, old chum, so come to the cabaret.
Hello everyone and welcome to our time.
Welcome to our time. Quite a different show tonight
Very
than
different
our usual.
jazz. It's lovely that we're both here. This is a bit like doing a show at the London Palladium, only on a small scale. Because this is the opening night of a brand new venture here in South Australia called Cabaret Under The Star, right here at Star Theatres in beautiful downtown Hilton, as Peter Gers would say.
Well done, Peter.
And we have some great performers on the show who will be part of the Cabaret Festival in the next couple of weeks.
We have dancers, we have singers, we have everything for you, really, don't we?
And a few special guests that are performing that you would not normally be able to see live. So as they say in show business, our very first act is Bonnie Lee Garrier, and with a band, who is doing a show of some great standards from Hollywood.
Well,
So as they say in the business, on with the show.
Really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I've got to go away.
Oh, it's cold out there.
This evening has been
I was hoping that you'd drop
so
in.
very nice.
Look out the window, your hands there like
My mother will
ice.
start to
Well,
worry.
beautiful, what's your hurry?
My father will be pacing the
They're
floor.
like waves on a tropical shore.
So really, I'd better scurry.
Beautiful, please don't hurry.
Or maybe just to have a drink more.
Put some records on while I
The neighbors
pour.
might think,
Oh, you'll freeze out there.
say, what's in this
But
drink?
it's up to your knees out there.
I wish I knew
Your
how
eyes are like starlight
to
now.
break this spell.
I'll take your hat, your hair looks swell.
I ought to say no, no, no,
Mind
sir.
if I move a little closer?
At least I'm gonna say that I tried.
What's the use in hurting my
I
pride?
really can't stay.
Well, baby, don't
Baby,
hold out, baby, it's cold outside.
I simply must go.
Oh, but you'd freeze out there.
The answer is no.
It's up to your knees out there.
Your welcome has been
I was hoping you'd drop in.
so nice and warm.
Look out the window at that
Sister will
storm.
be suspicious.
All your lips do look
My
delicious.
brother will be there at the
They're
door.
like waves on a tropical shore.
My maiden's aunt's mind is vicious.
Yes, your lips are delicious.
Maybe just a cigarette more.
Was never such a blizzard before.
I've got to go home.
It's bad out there.
Say, lend me your coat.
There's no cab to be had out there.
You've really been grand.
I throw when you touch my
Why
hand.
don't you see?
How can you do this thing to me?
Bound to be talk tomorrow.
Think of my lifelong sorrow.
At least there'll be plenty implied.
If you caught pneumonia and
I
died.
really can't stay.
Get over that old doubt,
But
baby, it's cold outside.
Fantastic. Thank you. That was Bonnie Lee and her band, and there's going to be a few more performing with her during the time. Look who's joined us.
We have the pleasure.
What? Are you coming apart as the old
Oh,
gang?
boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. How
Thank
are you?
you.
Jen, it's good to see you.
too.
Hello,
Anne
Malcolm.
Wills, it's fantastic that you're doing this, but even more so that people are going to find out the truth.
Well, and a bit embellishments, of course.
Just explain, your show is really telling your life story with...
Peter Gers is going to be asking me questions.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Well, it is because I have no idea what the question's going to be.
Oh,
The sad thing is, I met Peter 30 years ago. I was very young. He was much younger. And we got to be friends. And over
He lied to you.
He did. And over many meals, luncheons and dinners and cups of coffee, etc., I would just talk. And now he's using it against me.
Yes, really.
But not only is Peter interviewing you, but you're also performing with your lovely sister.
Susan is coming out of retirement just to do songs with me.
So the old favourites? All the old favourites?
Well, that's all we know. We don't know the new ones, you know.
Do you know, a lot of people don't realise that Anne has won more Logies than anybody else ever on television.
I've been very lucky.
Well,
No, it's not
it's
luck.
not luck.
The talent.
It's about being popular.
Pay her.
But also, people don't get to see this side of Anne.
No, because we don't get a chance to entertain. Even when I was on television, Tonight Show stopped in 1973, so that's a long time ago.
And really, you'd just be talking to people about them, not about you.
Well, yes. So it's going to be interesting, as long as I can remember the incidents
What
that Peter
happened
is
to you?
talking about.
No,
yes.
but you'd have to have a time limit too, because there's an awful lot to talk about, I'm sure.
Yes, I don't think an hour's long enough, but we'll do our best.
Talk fast.
That's what I do anyway. So, but thank you for giving us the opportunity to do
no,
this.
not at all. No, I think it's a great opportunity, particularly for South Australians, to see you in the flesh.
Yes.
They can see you occasionally, but we haven't seen you for a long time.
No, and especially on your beautiful stage. What was it,
We're very
2000 when we did the last lot? Or 1998?
Yes, in this theatre you did Up Your Toga for
Up
over
your
a 2-year
toga.
period.
And it depended the way you say it, how you mean it.
Yes. Yes.
Your toga.
Look, it's funny, I'm sitting with two of my wives.
Oh.
I've just realised.
There you go.
And
I've
you know
married
what?
Janice so many times, but in Up Your Toga it was
Yes.
you and me. You
Was
were
it?
Cleopatra.
Really?
Yes.
Yes. And I was the long-lost Emperor of Rome. Or...
You were one of the Ptolemites, weren't you?
Yes, there you go.
Oh,
That's right.
Something
What a pleasure. We have so much more to show you on the show, but before you go, Anne, because we're meeting a whole lot of other local people
Yes.
from here in South Australia, because that's what this whole cabaret
Showcasing.
event is about, South Australian performers. What's your tip for people who perhaps don't always get out to see shows? Is this a good idea to come and see somebody like this live?
Well, what I love about it, Malcolm, what you've done is you're going to have at least 4 shows a night, aren't you?
Or 6 in some
6
cases.
in some nights. So it means you could come, if you've got the stamina, and see all 6 per evening. I'm going to try for 3 myself on the opening night to see them. And I think it's a way to get out, to see what's here in Adelaide, to see who's here in Adelaide, and enjoy
That's
it.
important, who's here in
Yeah.
Adelaide, because a lot of the performers that you'll see in this event actually do a lot of corporate work, and the general public never get a chance to
see
hear
them.
their story or see them.
Which is why I wish we still had ladies' television shows in the mornings, because
more variety.
More
would be-
variety.
yes,
Well,
would be
tonight's
lovely.
the first variety show on television for years.
I know.
actually.
Lucky us.
And I'm so pleased that you are part of it.
I'm honoured to be here, and I cannot wait for our weekend. Oh, can I give them a plug?
Yep.
We're on 6 o'clock Saturday the 31st, 6 p.m, not in the morning, and 4 p.m. Sunday the 1st of November. Can you imagine 6 o'clock in the morning?
I can. We'll be here doing all of that, getting everything ready, I'm sure. At
You
that
would be
time.
bumping in and bumping out.
Exactly.
I
That's
love
the
it.
term.
Yes. Love you, Malcolm.
We'll be back.
Love you,
Thank you
Janice.
so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And we'll be back in just a short time with piano chick Becky Blake.
So come to the cabaret. Life is a cabaret, old chum. So come to the cabaret.
Welcome back. And here now we have Becky Blake to play Becky,
Oh, sorry. Sorry, we're just having a chat.
welcome to our time. This is a very special program for us, and we're very happy that you could come and join us. And you're going to play something for us.
I'm very excited. Yes, my show is called Confessions of a Piano Chick.
Oh.
And yes,
What
it's
are
all
the
about.
confessions?
Oh well, you
You'll
just
find
have to
out.
wait and find out.
People
So-
have to get on their knees?
Well, they could if they want.
Oh, okay.
I've got no problem with that at all. Well, it's about basically the audience gets to be a fly on the wall with some of the more unusual gigs that I've done over my several years as a piano chick. And so, you know, there's stories that are funny, there's stories that are a little bit sad, and there's stories that are just plain weird and out there.
Do you get a chance to do this often?
Yes, I do. I perform every Fringe and several times through the year, but most of the time I'm with my band Chunky Custard, and we play mostly corporate.
We're very,
gigs,
very, very happy that you could be a part of this performance, this show, and we'd love to hear something.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Becky
Thank you,
Blake,
Becky.
the piano chick.
I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down. I feel my heart start to trembling whenever you're around. The look of love is in your eyes. The look the heart can't disguise. Sister, you've been on my mind. Oh, sister, we're two of our kind. So, sister, I'm keeping my eye on you. Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I think of all the things what you've done, and in my head I paint a picture. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. Money, money, money must be funny in a rich man's world. All the things I could do if I had a little money. It's a rich man's world. Men grow cold as girls grow old, and we all lose our charms in the end. But square cut or pear shape, these rocks don't lose their shape. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. I gotta know right now, will you love me? Will you love me forever? Do you need me? Will you never leave me? Will you make me so happy the rest of my life? Will you take me away, or will you make me your wife? I gotta know right now, before we go any further. Do you love me? Will you love me forever? I'm gonna swing from the chandelier, from the chandelier. I'm gonna live like tomorrow doesn't exist, like it doesn't exist. But she's home and she's satisfied, tinkling the ivory. The keys are an extension of her fingers. She can breathe and she's free. When her hands touch the keys, she is home. Xanadu, Xanadu, here's Xanadu. Now that I'm here, you're near in Xanadu. Now that I'm here, now that you're near in Xanadu, Xanadu.
Fantastic.
Yes, yes. That was wonderful.
Do you know, Janice, our next performers have travelled all the way back from Vanuatu just to be here on this program of Our Time.
And I love them, the Borderers, and we've had them on Our Time performing, and they are just fantastic. And they are on a Celtic journey, I believe.
That's the name of their show,
Yes.
and you're going to hear all of those great old songs that come from that part of the world. So here are the Borderers.
Clap your hands, everybody. Come on.
Farewell to Princess Landing Stage, River Mersey, fair and proud. I'm bound for California, place I know right well. So very well, my own true love, I return united me. It's not the leader of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, I think of thee.
Sing along.
It's the leaving of Liverpool. Ooh, it's the leaving of Liverpool. Sun is on the harbour love. I wish I could remain, for I know it will be a long, long time till I see you all again. So very well, my own true love, I return united will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, my darling, I think of you.
Help us out, Adelaide.
To leaving of Liverpool. Ooh, it's leaving of Liverpool.
Too quiet. Sing along.
It's a leaving of Liverpool. Leaving of Liverpool. But darling, when I think of thee. Life is a cabaret, old chum, so come to the cabaret.
And welcome back.
Welcome back.
Do I take the words out your mouth?
Yes, you always do,
Oh, I'm
Malcolm.
sorry.
Put them back, put them back.
Welcome to our show, Russell Stark. It's so
Jan,
lovely to see you.
Delighted to be here. Malcolm, you're a champion. I think this Cabaret Under The Star is a marvellous return to, in some ways, old vaudeville that we
Yeah,
used to
variety,
get
I
with Ron out at the Enfield Hotel,
Yes.
and with Barry at the Old
Old
Kings
Kings.
Music Hall.
Yes. Correct.
All those places which a lot of the audience are too young to remember that, but I remember it because I was in most of the things around then.
But Russell, we haven't seen you for a while.
No, well, I've been very busy. You know, I had the Gala at North Adelaide for a long time. That closed about 2.5 years ago. I've been having a good long break, looking at what I'm doing.
Look at him. Look how well he looks.
Well, he does.
The rest has done you.
I'm not bad for my age.
We won't ask.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll be 77 next year.
Are you really?
You don't look a
Yeah.
day over 76.
It's all down to the breeding. It's the
I
bloodline.
thought you were 84.
No. Catch another bus, Malcolm.
But Russell, you're doing a show that's a most unusual show, but appropriate for this time.
Well, it is, because we're still in the 100th anniversary of Anzac, which runs right through, really, until Commemoration Day or Remembrance Day next year, which is the 11th of November, and a year away. It's a marvellous piece called With Love from the Trenches. It's set in the First World War, obviously, written by Vicky Horwood, who is a brilliant actress and a brilliant director in her own right. And she's based the piece on the letters of her grandfather, who was in the trenches, to his mother, to her great-grandmother, who's back here. So it's an exchange of letters between the young man who's very gung-ho and he's going to clean up the bloody Kaiser, and his mother at home who's very worried about all this. But of course, as the time goes on, and you hear the letters and you hear half of her letter which he reads and half of his which he reads, you're aware that life is very different. The war is nothing like he imagined. She's worried but tries not to let it happen. So the letters disguise, they tell a lot of the truth, but they disguise much.
Just butter it down a little.
That's right. So it's a very dramatic and a very interesting and a very sensitive piece, and it's a great look back into South Australia, because it's written about a man and a family from the mid-north around Clare. So this is a look back into how South Australia was at that time at home, as well as the war on the Somme. Now, when you may know, I usually do a monthly program with Ian Henschke on 891 in the mornings on the radio. Vicky, who wrote the piece, heard me do my poetry readings, which, as I said, about a month's time. She rang me and said, would I take the part of the muse? Now, the muse is sort of in the play, but not of it. So you have the exchange between mother and son.
Yes.
You have the sound effects of the war. You have all those things. The muse does German and English poetry, but all in English, which I learned and performed, not just reciting. And those poems, which are written in the period, link what is happening between mother and son, between many mothers and many sons, between what's happening in the broad view. So it's a very sensitive piece. It's not very long. It's got a few laughs in it.
It sounds as if it would be very moving.
Well, it's very touching. I've seen some of it.
Yes, you have,
it's a great memory and a great example, I guess, to people today who don't really understand what that was all about, where the Anzac legend came from.
Well, we hear a lot about Gallipoli now, but of course this is written from a young man in the trenches in France, and he talks about the men who've been at Gallipoli, where he wasn't, and he hears from them the great differences between the war fronts in those zones. So it's very much a personal approach by a man who did die in the war. This is him. His name is Captain Reginald Sudlow Hawker. And he was a very brave bloke.
Wow,
it's
that's lovely.
It truly is an amazing piece.
It's very
and something to be proud about with Australia. And the nice thing is that to follow up your story with that, we have this group who are one of our favourites. They've been on our time recently. They're called Me and My Mates.
I've seen these blokes. They're fantastic.
They certainly are. There's John.
There's Ezra.
And there's...
Lockie.
Brilliant. And they
I
are
hope I got that right.
Me and My Mates with some good Australian songs.
There's a track winding back to an old-fashioned shack along the road to Gundagai, where the blue gums are growing, the Murrumbidgee's flowing beneath the sunny sky, where my mummy and daddy are waiting for me, and the pals of my childhood once more will I see, and then no more will I roam when I'm headed straight for home along the road to Gundagai. I'm going back again to Yarrawonga. In Yarrawonga, I linger longer. I'm going back again to Yarrawonga, where the skies are always blue. And when I'm back again in Yarrawonga, I'll soon be stronger than old Mahonga. Well, you can have all your Tennessee and Caroline. I'm gonna get some loving from that mammy of mine. I'm going back again to Yarrawonga, to the land of the kangaroo. There's an old-fashioned Ford made of rubber, tin and board along the road to Gundagai. Well, the radiator's hissing and half the engine's missing, the oil tank's running dry. There is water in the petrol and sand in the gears, and it hasn't seen a garage for more than 40 years. Golly gosh, hear a roar when the pedal hits the floor along the road to Gundagai. There's a track winding back to an old-fashioned shack along the road to Gundagai, where the blue gums are growing, the Murrumbidgee's flowing beneath the sunny sky, where my mommy and daddy are waiting for me, and the pals of my childhood once more will I see. Then no more will I roam when I'm headed straight for home along the road to Gundagai.
Fantastic, wasn't that great?
Absolutely, I love them.
Excuse me, Janice.
Yes.
Look into my eyes, look into my eyes, look into my eyes.
And sleep, you're under.
I wasn't even looking. I'll stop it.
This is Isaac Lomman, everybody, who is... it's sort of a new wave, in a way, of hypnotism, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely coming back. Yep, it was sort of a big thing, I think, in the early 90s and probably even further back, you know.
Certainly further back. I
Yeah.
remember watching, you know, people doing all that and wondering, is that really for real, or are they just making
Pretending.
that up?
Yes, it's always in the back of people's minds. They all
So
think.
many people are asking that question, but
Yep.
it is, isn't it?
It's all real, yep, absolutely. There's nothing pre-staged on that stage when people come to see a show of mine. I just pull volunteers out of the audience, put them into a hypnotic trance in front of everybody, and away we go with having a little bit of fun.
How did you get drawn into this career?
It was from left field. I didn't sort of grow up expecting to be a hypnotist,
No.
but it sort of just started with an interest in becoming a better communicator overall, and then falling into or really understanding the real power of what hypnosis can do and help us with using it with hypnotherapy. And from there, it kind of just grew into, I guess, wanting to tell the world about, what we can achieve if we really sort of step into this wonderful state of mind. And then I got on stage, and it was all over. That was it for me. Yeah.
But he has the voice for
I
it
know.
too, doesn't he?
He's got the eyes too. Look at the eyes. Look into my eyes.
No,
look into my
don't.
eyes. Look into my eyes. No, exactly. But Isaac, you can't make people do things they don't really want to do, can you?
Look, it's certainly up to their, if they've got very strong moral guidelines, they're going to keep those still in a trance. So look, it's
So
it's
if
not
you,
really.
for example, if you say to somebody, "You're now taking your clothes off," they really don't take their clothes off, do they?
No, that's right. I just have them imagine their
Yes.
clothes are gone instead.
Yeah.
But no, the show is really about focusing on the stars of the show. So it's about them having the most fun out of anybody in the room. And often, in fact, a good show for me is when I have people coming up after the show going, you know what? I really wish I was on that stage, and I get that after every show. So that's what I really go for.
Well, it's also the disbelief of the people who have done it.
Yep.
But sometimes you lay some little things that when they walk out the theatre, something happens.
Yes.
It's very funny.
So the show doesn't quite just finish all up on stage. It
It's-
kind of has a bit of a flow-on effect. Yes.
Isaac was here in the theatre recently, and there was some younger people who'd seen the show, like they were 16 or 17, and oh yeah, sure, no one knew what was going on. And he walked out the front door of the building, and I've forgotten what it was now. Oh, the money.
Yes. Yeah.
I won't tell you what that means, but and suddenly this strange look overtook him, and it's very funny.
Yeah.
I won't give any more away, but very funny.
Yeah. Good.
So for anybody who sort of wants to be hypnotised, is there a prerequisite?
Look, the rule is if you can learn, you can be hypnotised to some degree. So the vast majority of us can go into hypnosis as much as we like to think we can't. And that means we go in and out of it every single day, in fact. So those people, the ones that I find really good on stage are those people that can really focus and tap into their imagination. And
Do they
then
need a
become-
good imagination?
Not always. Sometimes they might think that they're, completely devoid of any kind of imagination at all,
Okay.
and they get up on stage and it all just comes flowing out.
Yes.
But those are the things that sort of I tend to look for and find is a consistent, good, consistent characteristic of good hypnotic subjects.
Can you have? Do you just hypnotise just a few people on stage, or can you have quite a number of people?
I usually sort of start with about 15 or so.
Okay.
And then sort of, we'll find the best out of that crowd, out of those volunteers.
Yeah.
But, I've had sort of 25 on stage to start with. It can be a very big group. It can be a very small group as well. So
the thing is, you've got to come and see this man before he has to move away somewhere else, and we don't see him that often, as often happens to performers, because I know you're off doing a whole lot of stuff. Isaac, thank you for joining us once again on Ad Time.
My
and
pleasure.
for being a part of this Cabaret
Thank
Under
you.
The Star.
Yeah, so look here. Look into his eyes, look into his eyes, look into his eyes. We'll be back in a minute.
We will. Stay with us.
Life is a cabaret, old chum, so come to the
Welcome back to our very special Our Time here at Cabaret Under the Star. And this is the lovely Alison Kimber.
Welcome to our program, Alison. It's lovely to have you here.
Yes, thank you. It's
Tell
great
us
to
about
be
your
here.
show.
Well, thank you. My show is called Loveaholic, and it's about my addiction to love.
You had me worried there for a minute.
Growing up with the fancy rosy dream of falling in love with a great prince who would complete me and make me whole. And then you weren't available at the
Oh,
time,
sorry.
Malcolm. And yes, and then the story of how I came to be happy by my later in life. I
Oh,
won't spoil-
fantastic.
won't spoil
No. So it's a real
Yeah.
cabaret show, because really this is
it
what
really
cabaret is all
It's
about.
stories and songs, so well-known songs, and I've written stories about my life and my
Fantastic.
addiction to love.
We can't wait to hear it. But you're singing just one of the songs from the show.
That's right. So this is the song about when I set myself loose on the dating scene.
Called
Wow.
Perhaps.
Oh, can't
Alison
wait.
Kimber, everyone.
Thank you.
You won't admit you love me, and so how am I ever to know? You only tell me, perhaps. A million times I've asked you, and then I've asked you over again. You only answer, perhaps. If you can't make your mind up, we'll never get started. And I don't want to wind up being parted, broken-hearted. So if you really love me, say yes. But if you don't, dear, confess. And please don't tell me, perhaps. If you can make your mind up, we'll never get started. And I don't want to wind up being parted, broken-hearted. So if you really love me, say yes. But if you don't, dear, confess. And please don't tell me, perhaps.
That's Alison Kimber.
How lovely was that?
Well, I'm really looking forward to hearing the stories of her life.
I know.
Because that's really what cabaret is all about.
It
you know,
is. It
something
tells a
that's either
story,
personal-
doesn't it?
Yeah, or a story.
In song or
Yes.
whatever. We're about to talk to see Candy. Candy's.
Oh, Candy can't come.
Oh, Candy can't come.
No, Candy Chambers can't be here, but Candy Chambers, through the magic of television, is waiting on the other end of that screen over
Oh.
there. There, look.
Whoa! Hello, Candy.
Yes, hi, hello, Malcolm. Hello, Janice. Oh, you two are both looking absolutely super this evening. Hello, Adelaide, Australia. I'm so excited to be coming again down under. I've just popped home quickly to catch up with my grandmammy Celeste and my darling son. Then I'm off to Argentina for a dear friend's funeral. Oh, but then I'm coming... What's that? Sorry. Then I'm coming down to Adelaide, where I hear the heat is really getting turned up. You know, one thing I remember about Adelaide is that when it gets hot, I get even hotter. I really do. And as you know, Malcolm, I'll be coming down to perform my highly acclaimed cabaret sensation, Candy Chambers 50 Forever, at the Cabaret Under The Star Festival. I am so super juiced.
Yes, Candy, you are performing here on Halloween. I realise that. Will you miss being home for that?
Yes, I know. Oh, goodness me. I'll miss all the kids trick-or-treating. I guess I'll have to be the treat for Adelaide this year. There's nothing scary about me or my show. Just a whole lot of fun. One night only. Candy Chambers 50 Forever. Come on, Adelaide. Let's spend a hot and saucy night together, just you and me.
When do you arrive in Adelaide?
Well, I'll be in Adelaide from the 28th of October, and I'm really looking forward to catching some of the other shows in the Cabaret Under the Star Festival. I hope everyone has a super fun season.
Well, we look forward to seeing you then.
My goodness, yes, Malcolm. It's always really good to see me. I can't wait to get back on stage and to touch my audiences in ways that they didn't even know that they could be touched.
Okay then, well, that certainly sounds like something to look forward to. Thank you, Candy. See you when you get here.
Thank you so much, Malcolm. Thank you for having me. It was great. I'll see you soon. Good night, everybody. Good night, Adelaide. Bonne nuit.
Well, brilliant. Isn't that terrific? Now, I'm really pleased to introduce the next gentleman who's performing for us here on our very special Cabaret Under the Star. His name is David Gauci, and he's played the most amazing group of characters on stage right throughout Australia. He has the most brilliant voice.
Beautiful
and
voice.
is truly one of the nicest men in show business. A lot of people say that, but it's absolutely true.
It is true.
The amazing voice now of Mr. David Gauci.
This is the moment, this is the day when I send all my doubts and demons on their way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play, is here and now today. This is the moment, this is the time when the momentum and the moment are in rhyme. Give me this moment, this precious chance. I'll gather up my past and make some sense at last. This is the moment when all I've done, all of the scheming, screaming and scheming become one. This is the day, see it sparkle and shine, when all I've lived for becomes mine. For all these years I faced the world alone, and now the time has come to prove to them I made it on my own. The moment, my final test. Destiny beckoned,
I'll never reckon second best. I won't look down, I must not fall. This is the moment, the sweetest moment of them all. This is the moment, damn all the odds. This day or never, I'll sit forever with the gods. When I look back, I will always recall, moment for moment, this was the moment, the sweetest moment of them all. Thank you.
Thank you, David. That was just lovely.
Thank you very much, Malcolm.
Tell us about your show, because the show isn't just about singing, is it?
No, it's not. It's kind of a little chronology of my life, from starting off in piano bars, being a wedding singer, and finally hitting the stage.
And it's just a fantastic show. So make sure you come and see David Gauci, because the show is called...
It was worth the wait. Yeah.
And we'll be back in a moment with more of Cabaret Under the Stars on Our Time.
This is the moment, damn all the odds.
Life is a cabaret, old chum, so come to the cabaret.
And welcome back to Cabaret Under the Stars, right here on Our Time, with one of our favourite people, Rachel Learcar. Welcome, Rachel.
Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you very much.
We've had the pleasure of hearing you sing on the program, so we're delighted that you can be with us now.
So glad I'm back.
Can you tell us about your show that you're going to be performing?
Well, my show is called The Colours of My Life. I've lived 21 years, but I've done a lot in those 21 years because I can't sit still. So I'm telling the story of that and singing a few songs, a few classics, showing photos and videos.
Yes, we're really seeing your life from a little baby right through to right now.
That's right.
So why don't we hear this very special medley that you've put together, which is, just explain that really quickly.
This is a medley. I actually got the idea from a movie called Little Voice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen it, but...
Yes, that was a great movie.
Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful movie. And I do a few songs from there and a few impersonations that I love to do myself as well. So
Fantastic.
I've made kind of a medley of impersonations.
Oh,
Can't wait to hear it.
Sounds lovely.
Here's Rachel Learcar.
With his pants falling down north the dance, that's the dream of romance, or the scene where the villain is mean, that's entertainment. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. When I see you hanging about with anyone, it's not unusual to see me cry. I wanna die. I wanna be loved by you, just you, and nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you alone. Boop, boop, be doo. I was born in a wagon of a traveling show. My mama used to dance for the money they throw. Papa would do whatever he could, preach a little gospel, sell a couple bottles of Dr. Good. The minute you walked in the joint, I could see you were a man of distinction, a real big spender. good looking, so refined. Say, wouldn't you like to know what's going on in my mind? So let me get right to the point. I don't pop my cork for every man I see. Hey, big spender, spend a little time with me. Sing as we go and let the world go by. Singing a song, we march along the highway. A song and a smile, making life worthwhile. So sing as we go along. There's no business like show business, like no business I know. Yesterday they told you you would not go far. That night you open and there you are. Next day on your dressing room they hung a star. Let's go on with the show.
Life is a cabaret, old chum, so come to the cabaret.
Well, Malcolm.
What a great night we're having.
have.
Sadly, we only have one more performance to go.
We do.
And that's from a show featuring some of the best flamenco dancers we have here in South Australia.
I love this style of dancing.
Do you?
It is so exciting.
Not
to
just the
watch.
dancing, the musicians as well.
Absolutely, everything about it.
The show is called Flamenco Live, and here they are. dear, oh dear, the poor old white ants won't get any peace tonight. Wasn't that great? You know, I hope you've enjoyed watching and seeing all of the performers. It's not actually all of them, but the performers that we've presented tonight, who are just a cross-section of the 21 different shows. 21 different, shows for 35 different performances that are happening at Cabaret Under the Star.
Over how many weeks? 2 weeks.
So there's lots to see and lots to do. If you want to get out of your house and join in with a whole lot of other people and have a great time. Janice, it's been terrific to have you with us tonight.
Oh, thank you, Malcolm.
Now it's your song. So here's Janice.
I wish I had one with me.
I wish you were doing a show.
Ask me next time.
Next year. We hope that you've enjoyed the show. We'd love you to contact us on Facebook and let us know what you thought. If you want to see the performers on our regular show.
We'd like to hear from you.
Perhaps.
Yes, please let us know how much you've enjoyed the show.
And we'd love to know where you're watching it and what time of the day you're watching it right round Australia. Now, we're going to leave you in a moment with another show that we've just got a little bit of vision on.
A snippet?
It's called 5 Women, and it really is just about 5 women. But it's an unusual piece.
Because it's Russian?
Well, it's Russian.
It's Russian.
It's Russian origin, but it's also sort of a contemporary movement piece. And it follows the life story of 5 different Russian women doing what they do.
What do they do?
How they get on with each other, and it's a fascinating piece. We'd also particularly like to thank all the staff and crew here at Star Theatres for making this possible in beautiful downtown Hilton. Thanks to Peter Gers, who's also appearing
Yes, he
live.
is. Yes, he is.
Be a chance for people to have a chat with him. But also the crew that usually make our time with us are also here tonight.
Thank you very much
happen.
for helping us tonight, guys.
Yeah. So to all of our people here and all of you, thanks for joining us on this very special episode of Our Time from Cabaret Under the Star at Star Theatres.
Take care for now.
Keep yourself nice till we meet again. And here's just a clip as we say goodbye of 5 women. Bye.
Bye.